Greetings, Autobots, and welcome back. We're jumping into a Studio Series review for today's episode, and it's actually one that I have been dying to do for so long since they announced this figure. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the Studio Series Transformers 1 Voyager class Sentinel Prime. So let's take a look at the packaging first and foremost. We have a nice, very vibrant image of Sentinel Prime there in his robot and jet mode. Inside we have Transformers Studio Series. He is a Voyager class. Transformers 1, he is from the movie Sentinel Prime. And then we have a look at the back of the box. Some lovely product shots where we have Sentinel Prime in its robot mode, his jet mode, and his third battle mode, which I am super thrilled that they included in this release. So it says here Sentinel Prime. As we can actually see in the new Studio Series packaging, there's actually screenshots of the movie, which I personally really like. And it uses an image of Sentinel right before the Iacon 500 race. So you'd see here it says Sentinel Prime is a leader of Iacon City and fights to save Cybertron from the Quintessence. And if you've seen the movie, you'll know that is a pile of Alaskan bullworm, because he is actually the villain. So right at the top just says Sentinel Prime right there. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. So we'll just put that off to the side and we'll get the figure out right away. So, without any further ado, here we have Transformers 1, Voyager class, Studio Series, Sentinel Prime. And right off the bat, I just want to say, in terms of this robot mode, this is as close to perfection as possible. Besides the model kit, the Blokey's Classic Class model kit, the general look, the proportions, the colouring, even the wings aren't completely accurate, but for what it's worth, I still think it's a pretty spot-on replication. Now, Sentinel himself, we'll take a closer look, just so you can see. You take a look at that lovely head sculpt cast in silver, some nice blue painted eyes, and some vibrant silver on the face and the crest, some gold highlights here and there. I especially dig the gold streaks across this figure, though I do wish there was maybe a touch more gold and silver right here, because I actually have the Blokey's classic model kit in his battle mode right now, and you can see on the thighs and just the wings there's more gold, but I understand with paint budgets and stuff we can't expect something super complex in terms of paint apps, especially given that this guy has that metallic gloss the movie version has, whereas this one has a bit of gloss, but not quite. And he also doesn't come with the double blade like he does in the movie. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Just get a nice look at overall. He's a very chunky figure. He feels hefty. He doesn't feel loose or flimsy. Everything has the correct degree of tolerance. His legs, they feel fine. It's just because the wings, they sometimes rattle against it, and it's just a little bit unpleasant, but what can you do? Par for the design. So just take a look. Some brilliant sculpted in detail across. I especially adore this glossy metallic look that the plastic has. It's not quite as nice as the Blokey's one, but it really does stick out with these TFOne Studio Series figures, as every figure or character in the movie had a sort of metallic sheen to them, which really helped them stand out. So here, just the legs, some nice sea blue here. And these bits, I would have preferred if these were cast in gold paint, but I could understand why they're not, because budgetary reasons. And given that this guy has 3 modes, I think it was a worthy sacrifice, in my personal opinion. So let me think, is there anything else we need to show? No, I think that's about it for this mode. So we'll talk the posability, because this is one of my weaker aspects of this figure. The arms pull just under a 90, though we do have a full degree of rotation at the shoulder, and a slight bit of wiggle waggle, though it's negligible. You have a swivel at the elbow. Sadly, nothing at the wrists, if I am correct. Yeah, nothing at the wrist because of the way these are engineered for transformation. So that's a bit of a disappointment, but head can go back pretty far, down, can't really move at all, and full degree of rotation. And it's especially impressive given what's underneath this panel here. The legs can kick up that far, pull just about under a 90, so slightly below average. You have a full waist rotation, and feet with a massive pivot and a big toe down. So the posability of this guy is, it's alright. You know, he's just on the weaker side of average when it comes to the arms and legs. The head is pretty good, it's better than average, and the feet are pretty normal, but it's, I can't lie, it is a touch bit disappointing. But for what the posability somewhat lacks, this figure's other qualities more than make up for it in my eyes. So let's transform Sentinel into his battle mode. So first, what you're going to want to do is take this panel here, bring it down, and you will see there's a little compartment in the chest. Now, what you're going to want to do is just put your thumb and use that as leverage to bring this piece up, and there you will have Sentinel's battle mask. Close that up, take these chest panels and rotate them or angle them up like so. Take the shoulders, open it up, and there will be these little ball jointed shoulder cannons, and you will just bring the panels down so they'll be sitting like this. Take the right arm and extend that. That's Toby eating his puppy crunchies. Now he's coming in for a visit. So we'll just do the same on the other side. I hope the pitter patter of his footsies doesn't make it distracting. Who knows, maybe it'd be a decent background noise. And what else do we want to do? Ah yes, we'll just move the arms out to the side. Now you don't have to do this, but in the movie when he transforms, his wings sort of angle up like this. So what I like to do is just angle them forward and back to give this sort of shape to it. And also, I forgot to mention, if you keep the wings straight like this, it kind of impedes the legs slightly because of the cockpit and the wings. So if you want, you can angle the wings whatever way you want. They hold in place, so there's no issue of stability wise. You're going to want to come here and use this little gap and open these panels to bring up the hidden leg cannons. Close that over, it doesn't tab in, it just sort of sits in place. And finally, you're going to want to take the thrusters, orient them like this, bring the feet down, and same on the other side, and orient it like so. And there we have Transformers 1, Sentinel Prime, in his battle mode, and I love this. I love that they included this as an actual feature on the toy, because in the movie, if you guys remember, and if you guys have seen the movie, go watch Transformers 1 if you haven't. It is seriously amazing. He actually transforms into this mode, and it's only for the one scene, but the fact that they included this and it's not a parts forming thing, I think is really cool, and it looks terrific too. Now, he does pose. You can, if you have a flight stand, you can finagle him because his feet are just a little bit wibbly wobbly because of the nature of the design. But we'll compare him to the Blokies one. Let me just, oh, that could have been a disaster. We'll just move you off to the side. Because you can see the Blokies one has more complex looking details. Granted, this is because it's a non-transforming model kit. And get some little details here that just make them look more movie accurate, especially the wings. Which, if you guys want, I could do a review on this figure at some point, because despite it being a non-transforming model kit, I think these things are definitely worth your time if you want movie accurate looking depictions of these characters. And especially Sentinel Prime, as he is my favourite character in Transformers 1. I just love the guy. Now, I forgot to mention, but Sentinel Prime does come with accessories, because he comes with his shield and 2 blasters. And for his super or battle mode, what you want to do is just use this tab, and it will just go into the slot on his forearm like that. pegs in place. And then you can have Sentinel all fully armored up and ready to fight off, I don't know, the Quintessons, quote unquote, whenever in actuality he just he betrays his whole race for them. But, you know, semantics aside, can you tell I really like this guy as a villain? Oh, I love him. I love this figure, honestly. I'm so happy with how he turned out. But let's put him back into his base robot mode, so we can turn him into his jet mode. So take this, flip this in, close that up. Take this, flip it in, close it up, collapse the arms, take the chest piece, bring that down, revealing the head. I do wish the head had a more, maybe a more smug, sneering kind of look, because when you look at his face here, he does have a sort of, like, yes, oh, I'm so pompous and smug. He has like a very holier than thou aesthetic, which I think is perfect for the character. But I kind of wish he had a more angry head, because he did have some moments where he just was downright evil in the movie. Like when he killed Alpha Trion, and when he was pretty much outed for mutilating an entire generation of Cybertronians on live TV, basically. So we'll just, camera, focus please. There we go. Teething problems on the show, never a good time. And just like that, we have Sentinel Prime back in his robot mode, his base form. So, time to transform him into his robot, or jet mode. My brain's fried, I do apologize. Take these arms and just pull these hinges, turning them into the secret boxing gloves of doom. No, these are just going to be the arms for the transformation. So, what do you want to do? Ah yes, take this panel here and just rotate the head 180. Take the nose cone and tap it in like so. Now you can angle the wings back just to get a little bit more wiggle room to operate. That's what I like to do. And we'll work on the feet. You're just going to want to tab the feet or the legs together, like so. Then open up the heels and bring out the thrusters. But instead of orienting like so, we're just going to collapse them in and bring the feet. They don't tap in, they just sort of sit against each other. So take the back section here and just, it's on a double hinge, so you're just going to want to bring it down. It's a little bit tight, but you just bring it down, and then you can feed these two tabs into these slots right there. Next, you're going to want to take these panels, and there is a tab that will hook in here, and there's a hook tab that will hook into a slot right there, and a tab that will go into a slot on this part of the leg. So, let's see if I can just get it in. There we go. It'll just click in place like that. No fooling, it'll just click in like that. And that's the wings nearly done. So just take these tail fins and just bring them up. Now, we're going to want to take these sections here and collapse them down, and this will peg into this gap right here, and this little tab will feed into here. It'll just sort of soft peg into place, so don't worry about it coming loose or making any scary clicks. So just plug that in right there. Plug that in like so. And we're on the home stretch. The last thing we need to do now is take these sections here and collapse them. They're on these sort of armatures, and this tab right in here will feed into this slot on the thigh. So just push it in. It just takes a little bit of work, I find. It can be a little bit fidgety. Come on. Of course, it's because it's on camera. It wants to fight me. But there we go. That's that. And now what you're going to want to do is there's a little tab on the underside of this wing that's going to fit into that slot just above the arm. And it's only just because I'm at an angle, it's kind of hard to film. There we go, that's one all done. So the second arm, just like the first, collapse that in. Make sure it just pegs in place like that. It's slightly undone again. This one always seems to come undone at points. It's, well, not come undone, but just not peg in completely the first way around. So, same process as before. Plug that in. Make sure everything's all nice and squeezed in. And there you have it. There you have Studio Series Transformers 1 Sentinel Prime in his jet mode. And I quite like this. I kind of prefer the mainline one, which I've looked at on the channel before, because the transformation's a little bit more unique in regards to the nose cone. But for the robot mode and the battle mode, I think this one's superior, and in terms of size, it's definitely worth the Voyager price. The fact that you get 3 modes out of it and the size of it, it's a really nice looking jet. Very good color separation. I dig the combo of the yellow and the blue. It's a very vibrant color scheme that sticks out, and overall just a really solid looking jet. I am quite thrilled with how this guy has turned out. I don't really have any complaints, other than the transformation just kind of being put the legs together, move the arms down, and that's it. But you're left with a pretty solid jet, so I can't complain all that much. Now, I just forgot to mention, he does have a sheet of instructions here, which, for all you folks that like paper noises, I suppose this one goes out to you. Just have a sheet of instructions here, which we can follow along, or if you're like me, we'll just wing it without the instructions, because that's fun like that. So, as for weapon storage, we can actually store the shield on the jet. Same process as before, just take the tab here and it'll fit into the slot on the shield. Just like so. And we can take the blasters, and there's little pegs or slots right here that will just allow us to tab in the blasters. So peg them in like so. Make sure this little knob is facing inward. And there you have Sentinel Prime, all weaponed up, or armored up I should say. Ready to blast some, I don't know, quintessons, quote unquote, to smithereens. Just a really cool jet. I am thrilled with how this figure's turned out. If you can get this guy, especially if he's on sale, or if you feel like he's worth your price in particular, definitely pick him up. I'm so happy with how this guy has turned out. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the jet mode. So we'll turn him back into robot mode for the final sprint of this video. Should also mention that when going into robot mode, these tabs right here will hook into the slots on the lower portion of the chest pieces. Now, you can have the wings sitting flush, but I just prefer to have them at a slight angle so it can replicate an almost, or more movie accurate appearance. And there you have it, Sentinel Prime, back in his robot mode. In fact, before we do close out, let's give him a little photo shoot. Let's try putting his pose in to the test. Let's put him in a pose that's quite befitting of his character. We'll give him a very sort of, oh, I'm so noble, I'm such a strong leader kind of pose, when in actuality he's a complete and total fraud. He's almost like Homelander in a way. That's actually how I like to think of him. He's like the Homelander of Transformers. He thinks he's all hot stuff, but he's a complete and total schmuck. Just pose him up. Angle the feet up. He's just a little bit back heavy because of the wings. Come on, stand. Stand. Damn it. Stand, Sentinel, stand. Okay, there we go. We managed to get him stood up. Hopefully he doesn't collapse mid-sentence. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this look at Transformers 1 Studio Series Voyager class, Sentinel Prime. This figure is terrific. While the posability is the weakest aspect, the inclusion of the battle mode and the base, or the inclusion of the battle mode as an actual transformation process, I can't speak apparently, is something incredible about this figure. I adore the fact that they included that as part of the base robot. So if you want a completely or the most accurate transforming Sentinel Prime that's currently on the market, definitely pick this figure up. Or if you're looking something a bit more, how do we say, static, get the Blokey's classic class Sentinel Prime, as you can quote-unquote transform that one from robot to battle mode back and forth by attaching and removing the different pieces. That's about it. So yeah, leave a comment, let me know if you enjoyed this video, let me know what you think about this figure below, if you like it, dislike it, or whatever you think. And yeah, that's about it. So with all that being said, this is Autobot ASMR, signing off for the day. Autobots, transform and roll out to bed.